All right, hello. Welcome to Thrive TV. This is the first video for the Thrive TV vlog, Instagram story, or Instagram live, however you want to call it. So you're going to see me kind of look at both screens because I'm recording this for the vlog, but also for Thrive TV. So each week I am going to ask you guys what you most want to learn about, what you most want to know about, what you're interested in. And based on the poll, I am going to host a video or two each week. If I'm feeling crazy, I'll host two each week based on the topic that is you guys are most interested in. And also, I'll probably do some things here and there just based on what clients are asking. Most DMs I get, the DM questions, they're usually very similar. So it's going to be really cool because you guys get to decide what we talk about here. So let's get started. The first topic is holistic tips for weight loss and the number one mistake that you might be making. So diving into these, the first one is managing your blood sugar. I feel like we always focus on like the fitness and the food and we get so granular, but we forget that blood sugar is actually a really, really big component to weight loss and managing your blood sugar. So as women, we are constantly going through cycles with our menstrual phases, and we're dealing with hormonal issues, and there's all these things going on, right? So managing your blood sugar is really crucial for weight loss. That means eating a combination of fat with protein and fat with carb every 3 hours. So you are constantly focused on making sure that your blood sugar doesn't go up and down and spike and decrease constantly, because that way your body can focus on the weight loss, right? On the fat loss. So limit those sugary foods, focus on low glycemic foods, and make sure you're eating every 3 hours with a combination of fat, protein, or fat, carb. You don't want to eat like fruit alone or anything that is going to spike your blood sugar. You always want to make sure that you can really ground the food that you're eating every 3 hours with a healthy fat. The second is to focus on combating stress. So when we are stressed, we are making poor food choices. You know this probably when you have those days where you're running from appointment to meeting and there's like all these things going on and you're just like going crazy. You grab and go, or you go through the drive-through, or you're eating something that might be not so nourishing to your body, and the next day you feel it, or maybe even a few hours after you start to feel it. So you really want to make sure that you are combating and managing your stress in healthy, holistic ways. So what are those ways, right? Some of those are rewriting your stress story. A stress story is really the meaning that you apply to any stressful situation and your emotional response to it. So when we rewrite our stress stories, say, for example, myself going through adoption, there's just so much going on and I can easily get caught up in stress every day. But when I take a moment to rewrite that story and maybe figure out, or maybe I can come up with this way of looking at it from a different viewpoint, from a different angle. Maybe I take a step back and I take a bird's eye view of what is really going on. I can then handle my emotional response to it much easier than I can when I'm really close up and I'm looking at it from just a different angle. So rewrite your stress story. Rewrite what is going on in your life, the stressors that are causing you to go crazy, and then decide what your emotional response is going to be to it. You have the power to decide what your emotional response is going to be to whatever is stressing you the F out. You can also incorporate little rituals. Something I like to do is these 5-minute meditations in the morning. I am totally type A. I always have a million things going on in my head. So I am not one of those people that you will find doing anything except a guided meditation. I love the Calm app because they have guided meditations. Headspace is a great app for this. I like to incorporate little mini rituals within my routine throughout the day to manage my stress. So that is those 5-minute meditations. Maybe it's 1-minute meditation where you start off with something super simple. I like to incorporate breathing exercises throughout my day. So I'll wear my Apple Watch that reminds me to breathe, because sometimes I forget to breathe. I'm sure you do too when you're caught up in just the day-to-day. Little rituals, it could be something like ending your workday, having a shutdown ritual. So lighting a candle, getting that oil in your diffuser, putting those blue blocker glasses on, lowering lights in your house. So it signifies your body that it's time to rest, right? Because cortisol, which we all know, is also your stress hormone. They call it your stress hormone. And there's a reason for that, because when your body is constantly challenging itself, when it's constantly in this fight or flight mode, your body is overworking, and it puts your digestion and your hormones and everything else on the back burner. So when you are feeling overstressed, when you are feeling burnt out, your body doesn't have the time to properly do the things that it needs to do in order to lose weight, or even just to manage your hormones, or even just manage your digestion. So those are all ideas. You know, when we're stressed, it causes us to eat more. It causes us to really make not so great food choices. So you want to make sure that you are managing your stress. The third is to move your body. And this might sound simple, right? But I'm not talking about the move your body that we all know about, right? Waking up and getting that 45, 60-minute workout in. I'm talking about little movements throughout the day. So maybe that means that you wake up and you do a 10-minute yoga routine, and then throughout the day, you are setting your alarm to get up from your computer, and you are taking time to take a little walk. Maybe you take that time to do the laundry or clean, or I don't know, walk up and down the stairs. There are so many different ways that you can incorporate movement throughout the day and also get the things done that you need to get in the day. You can think of it as like multitasking. So there's a lot of studies out that actually prove this method is a lot more impactful than waking up and getting in that really that like cardio in, or that weight training in. It's a lot more impactful when you can incorporate small movements throughout the day. But also, when you think about movement, I want you to start to think about movement in terms of your menstrual phases. So as women, we are constantly, our hormones are constantly shifting and changing based on those 28 days that are within our cycle. So I'm going to make another video on this, because this was another hot topic that you guys wanted to talk about, was movement based on your phases. So what to do when you're in your menstrual phase, when you're in your follicular phase, when to work out, when to work out, and what is best to do. So we'll talk about those, but that's also something to start to think about, is moving your body throughout the day, and also based on each of your phases. Because let's face it, our hormones are constantly fluctuating. We get our progesterone and our estrogen, and those are constantly going up and down based on where our body is at in each phase. So keep that in mind. Also, the fourth is shifting your mindset. So I love to talk about mindset first when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to energy, when it comes to really anything with health, because I feel like the nutrition world is missing mindset when they talk about, they're just so focused on what's on your plate that they don't focus on the mindset portion, which should come first. Because when we can shift our mindset on what we're doing, on what our goals are, we can actually have those goals be sustainable. We do not need to constantly be working with a coach. Is what I actually tell my clients, and I told a client recently, was like, my goal isn't to have you constantly work with me. It's to work with me once until you get the hang of it and then do it yourself. So you want to focus on your mindset. You want to focus on what your why is, what your deeper why is. So if you think your why for weight loss is to, look good in that bikini by summer, then I think there might be a different why that we need to really start to uncover. So I want you to refocus your why. That means maybe going those 7 layers deep A lot of people talk about your why, but what they don't talk about is that any goal that you make for yourself, whether it's weight loss, whether it is in your business or relationships, there's always a deeper why behind it. And that is what's going to keep you going. That is where really the jackpot is when it comes to making sure that this is sustainable and not something that you're just going to do for a few weeks and then stop because things get hard, right? So it's a whole life transformation. Weight loss is a whole life transformation. It's not just focusing on the food, it's focusing on everything that's going on in your life. It's focusing on those relationships and your environment and your business and all of those things that really, really are the key to happiness. That's where the good stuff is at. So you want to think of maybe the excess fat that you have to lose or you want to lose as like, has anyone read the Marie Kondo book? So it's maybe like removing that clutter. You can think of it because it doesn't happen overnight, right? You don't gain weight overnight. It happens over time. It happens over things that have happened that are stressful in your life or moments maybe, with COVID or anything else that you have really had to maybe refocus what you're doing. So maybe you were on a diet or you were doing something that was really working for you and life got in the way and you had to refocus, you had to pivot. Do not get hard on yourself, do not get down on yourself about that. That is part of life. So thinking of it that way, where you are decluttering, you are focusing on all of those things that we talked about, all of those key elements towards that are crucial to weight loss, the relationships, your environment, how you're handling stress, how you're handling moving your body. Those are all very important in that whole life transformation. So again, it doesn't happen overnight. I want you to remember that. So if you've ever in the past been fed those lies of those weight loss pills or that shake or anything like Weight Watchers or anything that focuses on mostly the food and claims that they're not a diet, but they really are because they capitalize on you sticking with them. They capitalize on making that money and making you, I want to say they're B, but it's probably not proper. They're focused on making you feel like you need them, making you feel like you cannot do this without them. So you want to shift your mindset. You want to focus on all of these things and incorporate all these things together so that you are able to take control of your health and of your weight loss. And the number one mistake that you might be making is depriving yourself. If you are focused on removing all these foods and you are depriving yourself, that is the number one mistake because that is where you are going to have that hiccup. That is where your life is going to get busy and you're going to fall off track, right? So when you can remove that and focus instead on adding in foods, so adding in those healthy grains, adding in those healthy fats, adding in more of that protein, and crowding out the foods that might not be great for you instead of just removing them, then you are training your brain that you are actually fulfilling the things that you're missing. When you're actually adding things in instead of removing, it's going to take you a lot farther. So I hope you enjoyed this first Thrive TV talk. There will be lots more of these, probably 2 a week. And let me know in the comments if you have anything that you want to add, any questions that you have, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.